In the previous video, we were discussing about what is awareness and why we should develop awareness systematically. In this video, we will be discussing about what is ego, what is enlightenment, and how enlightenment happens by letting go of the ego. Before we proceed further, it's essential to understand a little bit of what is said in Kashmir Shaivism. At the beginning of the creation, there was just universal consciousness which had unlimited bliss, unlimited creativity, unlimited knowledge, and so on. But it wanted to experience itself in infinite ways, and this is the reason why it chose to create infinite parts of itself and add some form of impurity in the form of limitations. And because it wanted to experience itself in various ways, it also chose to hide itself under the influence of illusion or Maya. And this is the reason why we feel different from each other. While Maya makes us feel different from each other, ego enhances this difference, it glorifies this difference and preserves this difference. The fictitious self or the pseudo self is the ego. Ego is everything that we consider as I, me, or mine. The ego is formed by various associations that we have. We are associated with the thoughts, we are associated with the emotions, we are associated with different types of conditioning that we have had, such as social conditioning, educational conditioning, religious conditioning, and so on. And all these associations form the ego. The ego is operated by bringing in a sense of doership and by keeping the mind busy in analyzing, comparing, judging, and so on. Now let's understand what is enlightenment. Enlightenment is the annihilation of the ego. When enlightenment happens, the ego is completely dissolved or annihilated. Enlightenment and ego cannot exist together. We all have experienced this enlightenment in our meditation, but the challenge is to sustain the enlightenment. From my understanding, enlightenment is experiencing life in totality, moment by moment, with full awareness and alertness. We are aware of everything that happens within us and outside us, moment by moment. We experience the flow of energy within us without any blockages. We become free of all the associations that we have and perceive everything the way they are without any judgments or biases or any kind of perception errors. Our individual will merges with the divine will and we work towards betterment of ourselves and the humanity when this process happens. For the enlightenment process to happen, the ego needs to be annihilated completely, which means we have to be aware of our attachments and associations and let go of them one by one. Initially, we can start with the senses, then our negative emotions, then the thoughts, then the views that we are attached to, then the judgment that we have about ourselves and others. After this, we will be able to experience more and more love and compassion towards ourselves and others. Then we can start identifying the gap between the two thoughts. If we are able to stay more and more into the gap, slowly we will be able to identify the various games of the ego. And at this point, we also realize that I cannot do anything about it because I is the ego and it cannot dissolve itself. This is when we practice non doership and surrender ourselves to the masters. When we are able to stay into the non thinking state or the gap with full alertness and awareness for sufficiently longer duration, then we can experience the process of enlightenment. My deepest gratitude to my Guru Rishi Pragyanand Anubhuti, my Guru's Guru, my Param Guru, Guruji Prem Nirmal and Guru Ma Bharti Nirmal for all the understanding and guidance and blessings along the way.